What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J. Cool.
Know of what we're doing so that they can come on board to provide their support. So that is the intention of today's press briefing. And let me start by saying, having given that background, as I said, this package of, if you like, exposure should continue. Media ministry should continue in an organized way, I think in a structured way, and the disaster team must also keep briefing the people. I'm coming around to this issue because it's important. I'm seeing some gaps myself, so it is important, and when it's necessary, the president will also come on board to reinforce and also make appeals as I would do today. So, disaster and emergency declared, measures begin to be taken to address that, and we were proactive. As I said to you last press briefing here, we were the first country in the region to declare the disaster and emergency. As you know, this drought affects Southern Africa, and other countries followed, but we also went ahead as SADC. All SADC member countries resolved that this drought is a disaster. So SADC declared a disaster, the whole SADC, which includes us, but we were ahead of the pack. Now, I said already two critical issues to feed our people. Number one, in this difficult time, during this war. This is a war of some kind. Wars come in different forms. This is the war. And number two, again, I like going around the point, so I drive it home. Resilience, including storage capacity. But to do this, we need to raise resources. We need to raise resources. We made an appeal to raise resources, locally, regionally, internationally. And I'll come to this point just now. The appeal has gone wide. I'm just coming from a visit to the UK. Met King Charles III, raised this issue, pledged their support. This week, we'll have another cooperating partners coming here, traveling here, to offer their support towards this emergency. I think citizens need to know that you are not alone, we're not alone. But it is said that charity begins at home. We make the appeal, yes, for support, but we must walk the talk as a nation. So the president asked cabinet, and cabinet agreed, and therefore instructed the Minister of Finance and National Planning to review, to realign, completely realign the 2024 national budget, so we can take the first steps as citizens of Zambia in raising resources to feed the vulnerable 84 districts and to increase resilience. Since our 5th June 2024 press conference here, press briefing here, the minister has since acted on that instruction. And I think we have followed. I was away last week. I think this was presented in Parliament. And I do believe it will be, or it has been approved. Has it been approved, ministers? So, we believe it will be approved. Should be, will be approved. And this is a complete realignment to move resources, colleagues, away from non-essential areas. Let me use another word. To move resources from non-critical areas. I think everything in the budget is important. But as life is, there are things that are more important than others when you are faced with a situation like this. So that's the theme. Look at each ministry, see the budget that was allocated in 2024, approved by Parliament, re-look at that and say, for example, that workshop is not critical. Colleagues, that trip is not critical. It can wait. Buying so many reams of paper is not necessary now, it's not critical. We can do with smaller quantities. I'm articulating the process, the flow, so citizens can understand what is happening with their own resources. So then we move resources from those non-critical areas towards the disaster and emergency appeal, the budget therein. I think by now you all know it, $1.4 billion. So when we first declared in February, there was a resource envelope. This is the total required. This is what the government has raised. This is what we are asking from outsiders. Now we've gone ahead to do even more. We said to the Minister of Finance, we can skin this budget even more. And that's what I'm reporting to you has been done. And Parliament will do what it's supposed to do, in line with this agenda of moving your resources towards the most needed areas to address this war we have, disaster-induced hunger, food, energy. And we want to indicate to you, public service workers who are in the procurement departments, who are what we may call procurement or supplies department, starting from the controller of national resources. Just to remind citizens, is the Secretary to the Treasury. The Minister of Finance, Secretary to the Treasury, is the Chief Financial Controller in this country. And under him are people on parallel, his cabinet office, in the line ministries are permanent secretaries who are controlling officers. But they are ministers, cabinet. So my direction, not an appeal, on behalf of the people of Zambia, all of those that sit in the procurement units must continue to rationalize on the resources that have been left even in the budget, the scheme budget, so we can continue to create savings and move those savings towards supporting the disaster and emergency declaration. A bit of detail, but you need to know. So that's the direction. And citizens, government, citizens through the government will not tolerate abuse of public resources. And there is a particular ministry where action has already been taken, not mere talk, to basically act on those procurement officers who want to continue with old habits of overpricing and other evils. That's the message I'm giving to citizens. So your money should be better looked after ordinarily, but more importantly, now and going forward. There's no turning back. This will change the way we do things. Drought will change the way we do things in this country, the way we allocate resources in this country. So any deviation from three principles, buying principles, right cost, number one. Number two, the quality must be right. Number three, deliver on time, will be basically a cause for administrative action or prosecution. And I said last press conference, when that happens to one of us, we should not be sympathetic to those people on appeal of political allegiance. No. on appeal of ethnicity? No. On appeal of religious affiliation? No. None of those things will apply. The rule book will be rigid going forward. That's what you do as a leadership in an emergency. So, we as a country are walking the talk, and that's why the global community is responding positively to our appeal. Because you can't make an appeal and yet you want to buy VXs for public sector officers, ministers, judges, parliamentarians. It's not right. I must tell you, part of the reason I don't use the Gulf Stream is this. I knew this way ahead, that you can't throw extravagancy when you are reconstructing an economy. Where still now you have a drought. The two do not work together. Leadership must be by example at all levels, but also working for the public sector. It even obligates us to do even more. And my appeal is to the private sector as well to institute prudent measures. Because remember, the public purse gets its money from the privates through taxes and other revenues. That's a connection. So the whole country must be in a feeling of the state of war. Colleagues, that's the first thing I'm briefing you today on. The second issue is to say, because a drought has caused food insecurity, the drought has caused energy insecurity, because we're largely hydro. The drought obviously has caused insecurity on drinking water for human, animal, and other industrial processes. As many people know, that every industry actually uses water. You manufacture Coca-Cola, you use water. When anything you manufacture, you use water. So we have to now address all of these issues as complemented measures. On the food, I've already touched on it. But the FRIA, all the emergency, disaster management, DMMU, every effort now and energy is driven towards, remember what I said, reversing the food supply chain. Where we buy from, in times of plenty, we are now pushing the maize and the food back in the same chain. Maybe contextual. Buying depots, where we buy maize, are the depots. An increase in the cost of doing business, therefore, the higher cost of living, therefore, the inflationary pressure. We are conscious of balancing these variables. That's why we're working very hard. And we invite suggestions from citizens from anywhere, the global community now. We're reaching out to people to look at what others have done before us who are in this situation, given our domestic operating conditions, what is relevant to us, we take it. So, the energy generation side, as we recall some of our exports, and we do it in a civilized way, because we're increasing supply to surpass demand. When we're in that position, we need to export. That's why we have the Southern African power pool, to and fro, buying from each other. Now we're working on the interconnected Tanzania, East Africa, so we can buy and sell from each other, depending on who is in a drought, who is in a difficult situation. That's the way the trade goes. Congo, Zambia interconnected, increase it. Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique interconnected. Zambia, Angola interconnected. Things we're working with. But back to the supply side. We have put in place measures, citizens. Open access to be operationalized. meaning whoever generates power here can send it to a customer there. In between here, there's a ZESCO transmission line. ZESCO is now obligated to carry that power. Before, ZESCO had a choice to carry that power or not. That choice has been taken away from ZESCO. They have to carry that power from generation point to the consumption point, where it's needed. Be it a small restaurant in that corner, be it a hospital in that corner, be it a water installation in that corner. That power must move, open access to operationalize. What else are we doing? We bring in private sector, formalizing the private sector traders in power so they can trade efficiently from producers inside the country, outside the country, to where it's needed. Again, 3 principles. Quality of that power is important. The cost of that power is very, very important, not to inject pressures on the cost, domestic cost here, and moving into a time. Those are the measures we've taken, we are making them available to you and known to you, so we can communicate to each other properly. What else? Very important development, citizens. Net metering. Net metering. Let's stay alive in this conversation. I know we're used to sexy stories, alarmist stories. These are issues that will address our shortage of energy. Net metering. Operationalized. To be operationalized as part of a critical measure. What does that mean? When it was assumed that investing in energy was only for rich people, only for big companies, this measure now will allow any one of you here to generate power on your rooftop through solar panels, as an example. If you qualify for partial withdrawal at NAPSA, before the 5th of June, no, before today or last week, you were not able to generate that power other than for your own use. Now you can generate that power. For argument's sake, 50 kilowatts you generate on your rooftop. You consume 40 kilowatts. So you don't pay anyone a bill. You supply your own power. The difference, 10 kilowatts, you can sell it to the grid now. First time ever in this country. This is long overdue. Your government is implementing this. Then you can trade and earn value for those 10 kilowatts. That can go to 5 megawatts, that can go to any. So from the time we met and today, now citizens, ordinary citizens, widows, NAPSA, those beneficiaries can actually generate power for themselves and sell the difference excess for value. Never happened before in this country. It's happening now. The operational measures are being worked on. The regulatory measures, the burden where you need too many processes have been cut down by this Energy Committee. It is called light processes, 1 or 2 pages. And ZEMA will not take 26 months as it used to take before. It will take a few days. So that is extremely important, and that will increase the supply side of energy, which is the point I'm making here. Small supply generation, solar, hydro if you wish, wind if you wish, and your capacity, anything else, you are able to generate power now and put it in the grid. The laws being amended, regulations. Never before in this country. Done. So now, as a consequence of this, We want to see a solar explosion to increase the supply. Win off some of us here seated ministers here, cabinet secretary and deputy. You can afford to put solar on your rooftop and generate more than you consume, and the excess you put into the grid. Someone who needs that power, a saloon in Mandela, will get that power. I hope you can see practical measures, colleagues. So those of the citizens who can afford, through this press briefing, I'm encouraging you to accelerate the decisions, to invest, to generate for your own need. When you do that, you release some power on the grid to somebody else. Let's assume HH at his community house does that. And I'm required by this government, by the people of Zambia, to do it. And the people that live in the community house with me, there are many. When we do it, when we've done it, we'll release some power we consume there. And that power can go to Baulen. So the barber shop in Baulen doesn't have to be load shedded. I hope you get the message. Very simple. Now it's going to be possible. But how can ordinary citizens know how to proceed? We're putting in place a mechanism to say to citizens, you want to do your solar panels on the roof, this is the technical spec you need, specification, this is the cost, this is where you get it from, this is the installation. Another opportunity for citizens to do installations, youth, companies. But it will not just by word of mouth, it will be structured. You want to use that structure, use it. You have your own way, do it. But you have to have the technical spec correct so that it doesn't distort the grid. Bit of detail, maybe it's necessary. But all that rollout will come through to the people. So you don't have to worry for now. But we also expect the solar companies to bring the price down of solar. Why? We have removed the taxes. Your government has removed the taxes. So we don't wish to see a situation government has removed the tax which adds on to the price remains the same or goes up when the cost has been, some of the cost has been brought down. We don't want that extortionist approach as well. And the team is working on that. And we're bringing on board what we call now aligned dealers so that we see that they're delivering quality to the citizens and to others. Never done before again. You want to do it on your own? You're okay. But you need support, it will be there. We're working, again I said, very hard. So, what else are we expecting? We now expect you citizens to see an opportunity. I address Zambians in the UK. We had a meeting like this, conversation like this, and I invited them to do exactly what I'm inviting the rest of the citizens. Let's roll our sleeves. Let's stop complaining. Let's stop spending 6-7 hours of the day, valuable hours, on TikTok, social media, TikTok. Organize yourselves, 10 of you. Create a unit, a business unit. Then approach the platforms I'm talking about, how you can invest. Some of the money, you can get it from the financial institutions. Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. Why? Because the market is there for power. Easy business, to be honest. Take advantage. Big supplies. We're dealing with the tariff issues. The team is dealing with the tariff issues. The tariff was a little bit low. Now we should allow the tariff to accommodate, encourage investors to come through, including yourselves, citizens. As I said to the London colleagues, UK colleagues, who we met in London, sit in London here, enjoy your coffee, tea, but create a company, 5, 10 of you, raise $1 million. $1 million, you then borrow another $1 million, you put a 2 megawatt power station. And all of a sudden, you have a good business back home, and your government will support you. That message goes to all of us here. It doesn't matter whether you are an opposition politician, or you are a civil servant, or you are a farmer, or you are what. What the country needs now is to encourage you to invest in energy generation. Small, medium, large. Then we'll outstrip, supply will outstrip demand. That's what we want to do. Very simple. No one should complain. No one should say, no, me, I'm left out. Come forward. Even the Ukwa guys, come and invest and make genuine money, not nipping money from the public coffers. That is a no-go area. From the colleagues in cabinet today, you nip money from the public, cabinet office, state house, you're on your own. You can make money through this opportunity now. Invest, clean business. And everybody will know what you are generating. Everybody will know the price you are selling it at. Everybody will know how much money you have made. And you have paid your taxes. Clean business. Why you guys want to steal from the poor? And then you start making so much noise. Unnecessary noise. Let's do things that help the community. This is the opportunity. Big power. After 5th of June when we met, we were grappling with 300 megawatts of power at Mamba Phase 2. Since we met, colleagues, I called a meeting here of pension funds, right in the cabinet room there, banks in this country. And we sat in there, I ran them through the challenges the drought has brought about and the need to generate diversified power, not just hydro. And I gave an example of Mamba Phase 2. It's a $400 million ticket cost to generate 300 megawatts. And by that time when we met, we were short of $80 million, $80 or $85 million. With someone people are not active in this country on numbers. Somehow people fear numbers. Numbers make life easy. You don't cheat with numbers. Words you can play around, and if you speak nicely, you can cheat people and get away with it. Numbers you don't cheat anymore because they're exposed. I think it was 80 what? $80 million. Thank you. Who is answering? I want to see. Jacob, you should have been answering much quicker. He's working with me on that in the energy. So we're short of $80 million. I called these colleagues. We worked through lunch. I called the bank managing directors, pension fund chief executive. We sat and worked over lunch here. I said, I'm only giving you lunch after we agreed here. Before we agreed, no lunch. We reached agreement that after I made an appeal, President made an appeal, they will find the $80 million within a week or so. To lend, not to give for free, to lend. Colleagues, after that, the meeting broke, they came in this room for lunch. By 20 hours that day, we had raised $90 million in this country, not outside, to support these measures. And today, Mamba Phase 2, I believe, will be signed in a few days from now. Financial closure will be achieved. Is that correct, Jide? It's called the convening power. That's how you use the president. Not sending wrong information on TikTok about the president being a Mason. Again, the same subject over and over. I go to Harriet Watt, I get my doctorate. People say, did you see the picture behind it? I don't own Harriet Watt. It's owned by the British, been in existence for 200 to 300 years. University, very reputable. You're a young guy, you want to do your studies there, that's one of the universities. I go to Oxford, I make a presentation, someone said, did you see the pictures around? Oxford has been in existence for 300-400 years. Now, is that what we should spend time on? Honestly, colleagues, we should spend time on raising $80 million so that we can bring on stream 300 megawatts. And I've rolled my sleeves. This president works. Whether you like him or not, this president works. And he expects cabinet to work, expects permanent secretary to work, public procurement to work. Every citizen must work. We became a lazy country over the years. We must replace laziness with hard work, smart work. We raised $90 million in one shot here. And the rest is detailed now. And Mamba will announce soon the commencement of construction. I will leave it for that day. Today I've made a point that you can raise money, you can also gear, meaning you can borrow some money here in the economy, and we'll facilitate that. Doesn't matter, as I said, if you are hooked or you have a project, bring it on board. It will be looked at positively. Because at some point, we must work as one team. Even when we are competitors in the political arena, we are competitors in the business. In my days in business, I introduced something that was not there. I used to go and look for jobs bigger than what my company could do. Then I'll go to my competitors and say, Norman, come on, this job requires Deloitte and Coopers & Lybrand to work together. He was a partner there, I was running Coopers & Lybrand. First time they see these two boys who are supposed to be competitors are actually working together on one assignment. Different mindsets. Totally different mindsets. That's what we want this country to see. We can argue on certain things. On this, over the drought, we should not argue. We should not exploit the drought to create trouble. We should work together. That's what the media must send a narrative on. You see some deviant individual trying to create confusion because of the drought, remind them that here you are supposed to work together as a nation. That's what we did. After 5th of June, what other measure did the Energy Committee take? On the supply side, brought in the dollar energy company, brought them here. Said, guys, we have an issue here, supply. I'm glad to tell you that since the 5th of June 2024, we've now reached an agreement with dollar energy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chicho? Am I right? Yes. To bring on board a supply of 105 megawatts. Tick that box. Tick that box. Since we met on the 5th of June and now. Concluded outstanding issues. There were a number. Long checklist. I said, one day I brought a meeting here on the Saturday. I prayed to God, today is my worship day, but forgive me in advance. I'm going to work on the Sabbath. We had a meeting here before I left for London. One of the items we unlocked right here, just a couple of days ago, was the dollar energy. And today, I'm happy to report to you that 105 megawatts must already it's already being fed in the grid. You can confirm that? Say it with Gabriel? There it is, the nation. Hard work, intentional work, directional work, not noise, not shouting at people. No, engage people. We have 105 megawatts in the grid now. And that's why you heard me talk about lifeline supply to small barber shops, supply to hospitals. That's why I can now confidently talk about that. What else did we agree? We agreed in the Energy Committee to blend the tariff. Generator A may be generating at 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Generator B may be generating at 9 cents per kilowatt hour. Don't worry about the definition, just catch the figures. 16, 8, maybe you're bringing power at 17 cents. We now have instructed the Energy Committee to technically look at what is called blending, mix, and then be able to supply the tariff to the hospitals, to the colleges, to whoever, farmer, irrigation, mines, at a balanced tariff which is fair. So again, doesn't inject too much high cost, which will increase the cost of living through the inflation injection from energy. It's a complicated process, but we're working on it. And it's my duty to inform the citizens that this is what we're doing, so that they don't think that we're just making statements. No. We're not making statements. We're working very hard. And we invite all of us, you, whoever out there, to bring proposals better than what we are putting on the table ourselves. And we'll take them on, as long as they help the situation in the drought. I can go on. I think I've made a point of, since we met here, what have we done? What have we concluded? What are we still working on? A lot of other things. There's a lot on the table, but we'll be informing you as we move forward. So, I've touched the budget realignment, 2024, to walk the talk, to raise money. I've touched on the water supply, importance of water supply, harvest for various needs, including irrigation agriculture. I've touched on the energy priorities and the generation side and the trade. I've touched on the various projects. Some of them are sizable enough, like Dollar Energy, like Mamba Phase 2. But we are now inviting any one of you to make these investments. And will be supported, wholly supported. This team will support you. This president will support you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 of you. You create a unity. You want to produce 100 kilowatts, only 100 kilowatts. This team will support you. Where you fall short, we'll direct you that you can go to NAPSA, you can go to APSA, you can go to Zanapo, and we'll talk to Zanapo on your behalf if you need us to do that. This should bring Zambians together rather than dividing them, honestly speaking. As in the public sector, one mild point I want to make, but very important, we must work harder. This fellow here was brought up in a culture of hard work. And I know you are. You were brought up in a culture of hard work. Let's use this culture, this art of hard work. President, ministers, cabinet office, permanent secretaries, driver. You're supposed to deliver something somewhere, deliver it. You will find your family there. They'll wait for you. Deliver it. You are supposed to sign a document to conclude a transaction to assist alleviate on the drought and emergency. Sign it. Don't sit on it. You're supposed to have a board meeting. You are ERB. Let me just give you an example. I'm very proud of what the reorganized ERB did. I called them to that Saturday meeting here. And we made resolutions on these things I've told you. Blending, net metering, right? Open access implementation. And some of those things sat in the Energy Regulation Board. We met on Saturday, the new chairman, the deputy chair of ERB. The chair is, remind me? James Mann. I said to James, in that meeting, James, who is a colleague, and to the ZESCO managing director, I said, you boys, they are men. but they're friends. I said, you boys have to work as twins to solve these problems. We don't want to hear the board is pulling its legs, the management is pulling its legs. The following day, on Sunday, ERB had a board meeting, colleagues, to approve the decisions we make on Saturday. Within 24 hours, they had a board meeting to approve. It hasn't happened in this country. The work culture was that if you are a utility, a public institution, you are government office, you will meet on Monday. Things will wait. Icona, Mr. Kano, nothing will wait. Minister Foreign Affairs, Minister Mines, Minister Media, nothing will wait. That's the direction from the President. Things have to be done yesterday. An ERB board met on Sunday to approve as a regulator. So today I'm able to announce these things, as I returned only 3-4 days ago, doing excellent work for the country. If I'm not mistaken, the official meeting with the UK Crown was last done by KK in 1983. You can correct me. I'm not talking about meeting the Prime Minister, meeting them. I'm talking about having an official meeting with the Crown. Since 1983. This is the second. I stand to be corrected. I beg your pardon. And you see the support. Shortly after that meeting, the British government immediately announced that they will support us in this emergency to help construct the Zambia-Tanzania interconnector, $15 million. Colleagues, these things are not jokes. This is serious business. I used to tell you in the opposition that running a country is not a job, it's not a game. Because people used to call politics a game. I refused then, I refuse now. Politics is serious business. $15 million. I don't know if you've been communicated to already. The communique is coming. That's not a joke. First Minister Scotland, more support were organized, including drought disaster support. Please follow. My team will give you the details. Encourage Zambians to invest more. Please follow them up. Action points. Hakuna kulala. Being Minister of Foreign Affairs is a serious indictment to hard work, even at 02 in the morning, because of time zone differences. We work. Oxford University time. Researchers are now looking at how we can lower the cost of doing roads, how we can recharge Lusaka underground water. Excellent student, brilliant student, genius young man there, who is doing a research, and I was made to meet these guys in Zambia to improve the aquifers as we respond to the drought situation. That was what we were doing at Oxford University, in addition to me presenting a paper there. Good discussions, all intentional, all geared towards solving our problems. Now we've agreed there again. Minister of Education was there. A menu of actions we're taking there to quickly take in the research outcomes from there and other investors, including Harriet Watt. We've agreed a mechanism to utilize the research and technological advancement there to help us solve our issue, together with domestic research results. That's not a game. You can't call politics a game. You can't, colleagues. You shouldn't. So I'm back. ERB was able to take decisions on Sunday. Ordinarily, they would say, no, we'll issue out a call out to directors, and the law says you need 30 days before you convene a board meeting. I'm nullifying those things. It's for you, the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, to deal with those issues. You can't deal with those issues in an emergency. You can't say we can only meet after 30-day notice. 30-day, people will die of theft. I mean, thirst. Right? So that is the message I'm delivering to the country. We have a lot of work to do. And civil servants, public officers, Mr. Kangwa, we should be working 24/7 every day. The president is taking the lead. You must do the same. Ministers must do the same. Everybody, including a cleaner, must do the same. And I'm inviting the private sector to do similar things. If they're not already ahead of us, I believe they're ahead of us, but we want to basically work together at back. As a consequence of that, you heard me say that work is not 8 hours to 17 hours. That's hanging around. We expect work done all the time. Mr. Kangwa, Secretary of Cabinet, I'm overriding your decision. From today, civil servants who have access to transport must have that access to transport 24 hours in a day. So that it is not the reason they are not delivering. Are you together? Are we together? It's not the reason they are not working because, no, I couldn't respond to this because I've been told by Secretary of Cabinet that I parked my car and I can't use it. Your cars will be available. After all, they are taxpayers' cars. Use them responsibly, sparingly, to deliver for the owners of the cars. I hope, Secretary of Cabinet, you can now move on that direction from this minute. No excuse. Work must be done. Access to the public vehicle is available to you 24 hours in a day. For you to do what? Not to go drinking, not to go dancing around, but to go to work, to alleviate the energy issues, to check whether maize is gone to that depot in Chikankata, my friend, in Mawetowa. To make sure that that maize is available in Kashinakash, that maize is available in Kambombo, in Chang, in Chikalaba, in Chief Majawatu. I'm a very proud Zambian. I know this country. I've traversed it. So it's difficult to cheat me. My colleagues in cabinet have to think twice before they bring a memo to the cabinet meeting. I read myself. I look into it and say, this is not correct. So those memos be used now to go and check whether the food is reaching the people, whether the procurement officers are quoting the right prices. Go into Cairo Road. Go incognito there, go and get a quotation. That's how we quote the people in water supply, in the Ministry of Water. We went to the same drillers where they were getting 500,000. I sent someone, I won't mention their name because you may beat them when you see them.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.